Hello, good morning. This is Dr. Rosmaini again, and this morning I'm lecturing on chapter 9 in titling Industrial Design, one of the chapter in the product development course. So, in industrial design chapter in the textbook, the product being showcased is the Motorola Razer flip phones. So these are the bestseller, best design phone product in 1990s. Well, basically, industrial design has its own identity for every product that the industrial designer design. So, brand like Volvo and Mercedes. So, for Volvo design, in this kind of design for Volvo car, they are primarily focusing on the shapes of like rectangular and block, and with the clean direct line like this. However, the industrial designers at Mercedes, they design their product in this kind of Mercedes car model more on the ergonomic base, curvy and sleek curvy lines. So each product has their own industrial design approach. For this case, Volvo straight lines, Mercedes more ergonomic and curvy lines. Well, designers have their own approach in coming up with their own design approach. Let's get back to Motorola Razer V-shape product design. So this is the Motorola best-selling product in 1990s, in which their main emphasis is to follow the shape of human ergonomic face contour, which is basically from ears to mouth. It is kind of like a V shape or L shape. So as such, Motorola designer the design decide that during those days, the good and well-designed product must follow it human function in its shapes and functions so that it can be ergonomic. So they come up with this best-selling design in 1990s, because in the olden days, these phone design are mostly flat, just like a rectangular or like a cube. So it's a flat surface. However, these are among the first V-shaped design by Motorola. I would say this in 1990s, back to this new millennium, nowadays year 2020, it is this V-shaped design is comparable to like nowadays foldable smartphone shape, like by Samsung and by some other brand. So people say that industrial trend kind of cycle in its loop. For after certain maturity, it will come back to the same previous stage. In Motorola Razer V-shape design, they emphasize on the six characteristic. Motorola Razer focus on small size, like pocketable, and very light, and it has a very strong performance in terms of communication, in terms of features, and it has quite superior ergonomic in comparison to the phone in that class and in that category and in that kind of era. So it is quite durable. Means that it's long lasting and tough because it's made of specially chosen material, and one of the material that being used is titanium, and the material is highly special material for their manufacturing and production, and the appearance are quite unique because it is different from its current class during those time. So these are the six features that make Motorola Razer V-shaped design as best-selling and superior in terms of design category. Motorola flip phones basically has had evolutionized from many stages. These are the currently being featured in the textbook by Professor Eppinger and his associate. But Razer basically was evolutionized from model V60 in the new year millennium, and prior to that, V6 was derived from the design StarTech around 1993, and it is also flip phones. It's like a V shape in which you can fold and open. And the first generation of Motorola flip phones was from Microtech model 1989, which is this kind of slightly bigger and bulky, but it is still flip phone type. So, in order for a good product to evolutionize to be the best selling and current superior design, normally it has experienced some evolution from the previous models. And again, moving to the previous decade in 1990s. So during those time, without this flip model, so the current design of phone for those days are basically flat type, single faced like this, and they are still bestseller product in those days. Predominantly in 1990s, Nokia are quite controlling the market. So, what are the most important factors for this Nokia GSM mobile phone success? So, one of the success factor of this category of product is due to its pioneer technology, because Nokia is among the first and pioneer of GSM technology in those days. So Nokia are among the first who introduced like this LCD screen with text capability, and the technology is quite new in those days. That it is among the best seller in the 1990s. In comparison to flip phones, V-shape, they are more successful in the new millennium, 2004 RAZR model. So after that, 10 years later, in the new millennium, Samsung is beginning to take over as a best industrial design phone. So it is more of a flat type, shiny, looks with material expensive and I would say, with many camera lens. And of the latest, it produced the foldable smartphone. These are among the unique industrial design for Samsung smartphone nowadays. On top of its agility, practicality, function, and attractiveness in terms of design. So, basically, what is industrial design is all about? So, design which is based on industrial needs. So, industrial design, known as ID, basically started in Europe back in the early 1990s. And among the pioneer company who implemented industrial design concept is the German company, namely AEG. AEG is basically electronic device manufacturing company. So, and it first implemented the concept for industrial design. So those designers, basically in European, they strongly believe that designers must design their product from inside and out. So it is internally conceptualized and then being brought externally as a finished product. So European designers believe that the form or the shape of the product should follow its function. So that is their basic approach in designing a product in those days. And European designers were mostly has background for being architect and also engineers. However, in the new millennium design, moving towards the US, United States-based design, and US designer, they claim that they are mostly from the artistic background, like from theater designer and illustrating artists. So most of US designers are basically having artist background. However, the European designers or American designers, they have both influenced their continental design product. So, famous designer from Europe like Henry Dreyfus, like this, and also Elliot Noyes, American designers, they have come up with their own concept, their own approach for industrial design for their own industrial product. So in this chapter, basically, we are covering what are the historical perspective of ID, industrial design, and what is the working definition of industrial design. We have a look on the method for determining the importance of industrial design for many category of product, and the cost and benefit of implementing ID, industrial design, how industrial design is able to help project or build their own corporate identity. So basically, the identity of the corporation or the company is actually derivable from its produced product. And we also explain on the description on how industrial design process changes according to product type, either product type category electronics or product type category automobile and so on. So we also explain method of assessing the quality of the industrial design effort for a finished product. The basic definition of industrial design by the Society of America or IDSA, it defines industrial design as the professional service of creating and developing concepts and specifications that optimize the function, say, value, and the appearance of the product, and the system for mutual benefit for both, which is the customer and also the supplier. So, as such, Dreyfus listed down 5 critical goals that industrial designers could use to develop a new successful product. First critical goal is utility, then product appearance, easy maintenance, should be low cost, and communication to customer for the new product. These are the basic 5 critical goals highlighted by Dreyfus. Dreyfus is European designers for many successful products. So if we take a look on the utility, appearance and maintenance, low cost and communication for this Motorola Razer flip type, you could see that the utility comes from the features that, since it is a flip, I would say it can be folded. So the utility and the function has more practicality because of the shape of the human face. Because normally it is curving from our ears to the mouth, so it is utilized in the shape of L or V. So that's why Motorola design has become successful due to its utility function, due to its V shape. The appearance is compact. It is like a pocketable, because once you fold it, it becomes less longer. It becomes more compact and easily inserted to your pocket, whether your shirt pocket or trousers pocket. So it is means of appearance. Ease of maintenance, yes, this Motorola Razer flip type is very sturdy, I mean very tough, not easily get broken, because the material selection has been done thoroughly, including some of its own component part is made of titanium actually. So it has low cost as far as manufacturing is concerned. Its manufacturing is considered a low cost, and Motorola has made significant advertising and promotion for this flip Razer tab. As such, it is regarded as one of the best industrial design for phones in those days. So utility, appearance, maintenance, low cost, and communication are five critical goals for industrial designers to design their product so that they can achieve as a successful product in the real market. So, how to assess the need for industrial design? So, how to judge whether that product needs industrial design? First, we take a look on its ergonomic needs. Ergonomic needs means it must be comfortable, easy, and I would say fit for human use. That is ergonomic. So easy maintenance, perhaps for example, to replace the battery, and it is easy to open, it is easy to install back. Those are part of the ergonomic needs. The other needs for engaging industrial design is basically its aesthetic needs. So it is like human feeling needs. For example, if you take a look ergonomic needs of Motorola Razer Flip Type, it has a V shape, so it is complementing like a human face, whereas the aesthetic needs is the human feeling needs. If you take a look on like Apple phone design, it has a more towards like a shining type material, so it looks nice, expensive, and exclusive. So those are the aesthetic needs that industrial designers at Apple design and embed into the product. So when you take a look at the product, you have a good feel towards the product. So it is giving emphasis on visual appearance that must be attached to the product, and having owned the product, the owner will feel pride. It is part of the owner's image and being fashionable. So, and these are part of the aesthetic needs for requiring for industrial design. What are the impact of industrial design? Why bother engaging industrial design or not engaging industrial design? So basically, first thing is the direct cost and the cost of ID service. Of course, engaging industrial design, there are costs attached to it. For example, how many quantity that need to be produced. So if it's a large, many for the industrial mass production, and how many number of models needed for that kind of particular product. So those are part of the industrial need decision and impact towards its production. The impact of industrial design also including its manufacturing costs, because it involves the material that is being used and it is embedded into the industrial design. For example, its finishing surface, the style of the shapes, how many colors will be embedded into the final product, options that customer can buy from. So these are influencing the impact of industrial design. The time cost basically influencing in terms of how many multiple design cycle that it must go during the developing the prototype, because designing product normally involve a few types of cycle or iteration, perhaps phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3 until you come out with the final design. So these are the impact of industrial design. Well, I would say the product design through the industrial design will project or give the company corporate identity. For example, if you take a look of one well-known product like BMW, Bavaria Motorworks, you could see that it has their own identity. You see, like this kind of car, it looks more aggressive and it looks more vibrant, and because this BMW car is designed by designers and focusing on driver oriented performance, so it is more on driver and driving, so it has this that kind of a brave look and aggressive, so that is the corporate identity of BMW. So how does industrial design at Mercedes-Benz influence or project their corporate image? Basically, if this kind of outlook of the Mercedes-Benz car, you can see it is more like more emphasizing on like quality, innovation, and from the outside, the corporate identity of a Mercedes-Benz car of this type, it looks more graceful and elegant instead of like this. It looks more aggressive. It looks more, I would say, brave. So Mercedes-Benz industrial design identity for their car, for this kind of category model, is basically to show graceful and elegance in driving. So another corporate identity for another automobile car is like Lexus. So if you take a look of the Lexus design car, the industrial designers design their product to be mostly focusing on perfection. So I would say this kind of car, it doesn't look graceful and elegant. It looks more like a modern and it project image of high class quantity. So that is the industrial design identity for Lexus, for the Lexus car. So bottom line is each product has their own industrial design identity, so that that product can be offered to customer, and when customer own it, it relates to the customer identity, for example being aggressive, or for example being graceful, or for example being look like new and modern. Another industrial design which is excellent and in projecting their corporate identity, in the book it is also discussed as a corporate company, namely Braun. Braun, Braun, is basically German company, and it produce normally related to electrical appliances, for example kitchen, and for example those related to shaver, like this and a mixer, right? So Brown design normally has these four corporate identity. So their design of product basically based on clean lines. Clean line means basically it is straight and curved line. It doesn't look complicated, and normally it uses basic color, basically either black or white, or stainless steel or gray. So it doesn't design with so much colorful colors. And from the external view, it looks simple, and brown product is known for its quality, and normally if you buy savers like this brown, normally it can be used for 4 or 5 years. It will last quite long in terms of its performance. So I would say each company like Brown has their own industrial designer, which has their own certain corporate philosophy in designing, so that the output of the final product can project their corporate identity. So if you take a look at Apple iPhone product, or what is the image being projected? So Apple is focusing more towards the industrial design image of being superior in its class. So it wants to look exclusive and expensive. Those are the industrial design approach for Apple iPhone mostly. However, if you take a look at Samsung smartphone design, their industrial design approach is more towards agility and being functional. So it looks practical, and it looks new and modern. Those are the industrial design approach by designers at Samsung. So, on the industrial design process itself, why we need to take a look on the design process? Because the process of the product is basically designed from the needs of the customer, which is focusing on the function and focusing to the needs of the user, needs of the people who buy the product. So that is the process to base on industrial design. And those design process basically follow the concept of the product being designed. For example, designers at Mercedes, the concept is to show the identity of grace and elegance. So the whole process of the design will follow that kind of concept. In designing process, normally there are many, I would say, refinement or iterations, or I would say cycle. So it must start with preliminary refinement stage, and later further refinement, further improvement until the final concept stage. So as such, it has many different version of the drawings. Drawings for model, I would say stage one, drawing models for stage two, stage three, until the final concept selection. So because there are many iterations of the different models or drawing, so AutoCAD has become the main, I would say, platform that designer base on their design. So nowadays, in this new millennium, many product, almost all product are designed based on AutoCAD, AutoCAD design, which is the design is being designed digitally. And AutoCAD computer aided design (CAD) had been implemented in 1990s, and in those days they are very much on 2D design. But nowadays, in the new millennium, most design are basically 3D, using three-dimensional computer-aided design tool or software. And as such, this is important for industrial designers so that they can keep revising without really needing to come up the design physically yet, but they keep improving the design digitally so that they can finalize, and only then they start producing the prototype by I would say 3D printer, for example, because nowadays software, three dimension like computer aided design, they are all linked to 3D printer to produce the first piece, or to produce the first prototype of the product uh, for having it being produced physically. Nowadays, AutoCAD software for design being implemented in designing aeroplane, and as much as like also uh, satellite. This is international space station satellites. They also use AutoCAD to design this space station, not only from simple product up to the most quite complicated product, and up to I think most comprehensive product like International Space Station. In back into the product being featured in the chapter of the textbook, basically Motorola Razer V-shaped design was based on computer-aided design software. So these are the outlook of the overall product cross-section design. Some internal parts are made of titanium due to its rigidity and its lightweight. And the final outlook is this kind of shape. So engineer use this kind of software in order to produce a best-selling product like Motorola Razr model. Okay, I think this is about 30 minutes of lecture for this chapter. I would like to thank you for your attention, and thanks for listening to my lecture. Thank you.